All right, hi guys, it's Dr. Ihrig here, and now we're going to be talking about completing the square. Now, in all honesty, you probably won't need to really complete the square because you can always use the graphing calculator to compare functions. However, sometimes they might be tricky, and they might give you an example of completing the square, and you'll need to know the steps so that you can be like, no, this line was wrong, or you need to do this. So even though, so this is basically, there might be a 5 or 10% chance that you get a completing the square question where you actually need to know the process. So we're going to do this one without with the graphing calculator or the scientific. Like, who knew? Technically, you can always check your answers doing that. But let me just show you how to do these problems. Now, I love this graphic. I have no idea where I got it. It talks about rearranging first, taking half of b, squaring it, and then factor and solve it. That's the official step. Get ready for the Dr. Ihrig way, which is a heck of a lot easier. All right, first what we're going to do is we're going to change my color. Thank you. We're going to move whatever the constant is to the other side. Boom. Now, this is subtracting 3, so what's the opposite of subtracting 3? Adding 3. So step 1, Dr. Ihrig's way, is move the constant. So that gives us a squared plus 2a space equals 3. Now my next step I call set it up. And basically we're going to put parentheses here with a squared, this equal sign, and the number 3. Because that 3 just came down. I pretty much just rewrote it. My next step is to divide b by 2. So I've got a here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Yeah. Step 4 is to square going up. So what is 1 times 1? 1. I know, crazy, huh? So now we have that, but we need to add to both sides. So if I add 1 to this side, I have to add 1 to this side. So really, this becomes 3 plus 1, which is 4. And finally, we take the square root, and then we solve. So for the square root, super easy. This whole thing just crosses off. So we're just left with a plus 1. And then I'm going to have to call it the square root split. So here we're going to have the square root of 4 is both positive 2 and negative 2. And that's where we get the square root split. So this will be positive 2 here. And this will be negative 2 here. Then we do the opposite to both sides. So here we have a equals 1, and here we have a equals negative 3. Okay, let me do another problem. This time I'll go a little bit more quickly. Here, I move my constant to the other side. The opposite of subtracting 8 is adding 8. That's the beautiful number 8. Then I've got my a squared minus 2a space equals 8. Set it up. Honestly, if you were in my class, I wouldn't have written that line after the second problem. Here comes our a. Going down, we divide by 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Here's a hint. Whatever that sign is, it's going to be right there also. 1 times 1, 1 squared is positive 1. But if I put it on the left, I put it on the right. This becomes 9. Now I just need to solve. I take the square root of this side. That cancels everything out. I'm just left with a minus 1. But remember, it's square root and split. So the square root of 9 is going to give me positive 3 and negative 3. And then I just solve. Here I'll add 1 to both sides. And then here I'll also add 1 to both sides. And that problem is done. So I am going to show you, now you know the steps. The steps work every single time, but let me just show you real quick. How to check your answers. So I'm going to just type in a squared plus a minus 3. And it's like, Doc, I don't know what it's doing. Why? Because I'm typing a in. So instead, we need to type in x. And then we get our graph. These points are our answers. Oops, it would have helped if I wrote the correct problem. There we go. These points are our answers. -3, +1, -3, +1. It works. Let's do this other side. Here we have x squared, because we don't want to write the a because we're graphing, minus 2x minus 8. That's my blue graph. Here's my points. There you go. Okay, that's how you check your work. 4 and -2, 4 and -2. That's completing the square. Bye.